let's talk about these boys here, man. I'm excited to talk about this. You had your and look, it's been good. Like we kind of have two different takes and taste on these. Like obviously your AR, you're a little more critical than I was, and I think for the Jags, you were as well too. But we'll get into that. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of seems like to me that T-Law struggled a little bit today, or the other day, through the INT, and which it was that was a wide receiver core's fault because they ran the wrong routes. You'll never have two wide receivers within 3 yards of each other. That shouldn't have happened. So I don't know if that was which wide receiver it was that messed that up, but somebody definitely ran a wrong route. So let's take the INT out of there, and had a couple deep shots. I saw something that they were known for last year, but the drops is really killing them. The wide receiver room is very concerning. We heard about drops last week. We reported it on this show during practice, and it has continued to come on into the preseason, and that's kind of concerning because at the beginning of minicamp and training camp, these guys were running on all cylinders. I don't know what has happened, but the drops are very concerning for me. Is it something that they can work out? Absolutely. Is it timing? I think it's a little bit of timing. But
This, I mean,
it's
look,
one of those
this
things
is where
where you
Cody and I
have
disagree
to.
a little bit. It was a lot of younger guys. So let's not get it crazy. It was the younger guys. I mean,
The wide receiver room is still the wide receiver room, and
Lawrence
you
was
have to
5 for
hold them
6 with an
accountable.
interception. So the 5 balls that he threw were caught. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as the balls that he's tossing around are being juggled, I'm cool with it.
Okay, I get that. That's fine. I'm just saying that the depth in the wide receiver room is a little concerning. You have one or two guys get nicked up, and next thing you know, you're dropping balls. And
Easy.
that was a plague 2 years ago. Is that the wide receiver room? That's why they revamped the wide receiver room, because they were dropping a bunch of balls. Am I wrong?
Damn, somebody pissed Cody off. Look, I get it.
No,
I get where
no,
you're
I'm
coming
not
from. I
pissed.
think, but look, I think the interception was, I think Trevor just feeling confident. I was talking with a buddy of mine who's a Jaguars fan too, and every year you leave preseason, it's just like the Gators. You're in the honeymoon stage. You got this buzz that, this is the year. This is going to be it. In that division with the Colts and the Texans and Titans, it always feels like it's open for business, right? Every year you come into it, and every year we go into preseason, and there's a lot of question marks to have to be answered. Who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to be the linebacker? Who's going to be the wide receiver this year? Who's going to be the coach? There's always one missing piece. But the main missing piece has always been the leader of the bunch, the general, the general is Trevor Lawrence. And I don't think anybody's been ever as comfortable with the quarterback in Duval than we have been, since Burnell or Gerard, right? David Gerard. So this is kind of where Trevor has been able to do that. The wide receiver core, everyone feels really comfortable about. The running back room is exceptional, right?
Yeah, we're about to get into that. Yeah.
It has been exceptional. And the line, I mean, the D line looked great. The O line, there's definitely some areas that need to be worked out. But I just think with how much explosiveness the offense has, it's going to, help the O line a little bit because the D is going to have to play on their heels, saying what's Dougie P got coming at me next. I think they're going to be a very high up tempo offense, which is going to help with Trevor getting a lot of yards, which we talked about last week. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Let's lean into that right away. Trevor Etienne looked better this game, this preseason game. Squared his shoulder up, gashed the line of scrimmage like what we talked about last week. Dougie P won what they were working on, and he had a 10 to 12-yard run. Now, he did try to bounce one outside at the very beginning, and I think Dougie P kind of maybe got in his ass a little bit, or the running back coach, and was just like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And the next, or 2 plays later, he did gash the defense for like a 10 to 12-yard run. And it's just proven that, look, bouncing an outside, it'll work sometimes, but you can't rely on that. You got to attack the line of scrimmage. So Trevor looked good, but his counterpuncher Tank Bigsby had a beautiful 25-yard run. And that is something I'm super excited to see, is a 1-2 punch with Trevor and Tank. I think you might have top 3 1-2 punch running backs in the league this year. I think it's something that's going to be very special. It's going to take a lot of heat off of the passing game. It's going to take a lot of heat off of Trevor. I think it's something to be really watching.
Yeah, look, again, going back to the past of being a Jaguar fan, typically when you've watched the preseason, it's just like, all right, look, guys, things are coming together, right? There's some surprises here. This year, it just looked like we were like the Patriots and the Chiefs and the teams that have been good for a long time. Just go through preseason, kind of just you're not worried about anything. You're going through some motions, kind of check some boxes off, and everything just was flowing. And that again, it's how it's felt. And yes, the running back room looked exceptional. And Muddy says, I want to apologize to our first round offensive tackle, Anton Harrison, because he looked great, and he did look great on that right side. He was holding up very well against the D1 line against Cowboys. In the red zone, we scored a touchdown. If you go watch that play, he held up on a little trick that was pulled up on him, on a little switch, on a little cut route on him, I think. And look, he looked good. They all looked good. I'm excited for what's to come, and the buzz is just, look, it's wide open. There's no reason why we don't just storm through this division, especially, with it all being essentially rookie quarterbacks outside of Tannehill. So those are automatic W's in a sense. I think the Titans, that's going to be a tough game because it's the Titans, and if Tannehill's playing, it's still going to be a competitive team. They still have Derrick Henry, but things are coming together for the Jaguars, and they could be taking that place of the Bills. That rotation right now, it seems to be, it's the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Bills. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags could be placing themselves in that roundup there, where it's those are the three coming down to the wire, and it's going to come down to home field advantage, which gives you the edge over Patrick Mahomes or Jamar Chase. Being able to have that game last year in Duval compared to Kansas City, I mean that's a 7-point swing right there, right? So that's going to be something that again plays into why we need to dominate the schedule so we can coast in and get that number 1 seed to possibly get a bye plus that home game as well. So.
Yeah, next up on Jags preseason game review, the defense, man. The defense, the secondary looks really, really good. The only concern I have is the pass rushing behind of the superstar edge, Josh Allen, is kind of anemic. But the secondary, the ones, the twos, and the threes all look good. That's probably why Clowney was there today. Because they saw what I saw. They said we need another pass rusher outside of Josh Allen, and I think that's what they're looking at. They saw, some of these guys like Chason and them, they're going to end up getting cut because they're not doing their job. And that's what we talked about 5 or 6 weeks ago about the Jaguars offense or defensive line, is that guys that were kind of on the fringe, right? And guys that we thought they could bring in. Now we thought the other guy, Ngakwe was kind of a shoe-in, but whatever. Clowney, Ngakwe, whatever. We talked about it, potential Jags on this show. Just batting a fucking 1,000 here, chugging Butch Lights and getting everything right. What more do you want?
Yeah, I'm reading about it now. It says, look, the pass rush unit has, Trayvon Walker with Josh Allen, Jason as well, and then Jordan Smith and Yasir Abdullah, who he's a rookie. He got drafted, I think, 3rd round this year. Again, you were able to add Jadeveon Clowney to the mix. It's just again, the pieces are coming together. That team is becoming absolutely a nasty and a threat to be reckoned with. We were talking about the wide receiver core. Where does it rank? Top 5, top 3. You got to put the Eagles and the Chiefs up there. They're just, kind of kicking ass and taking names. Chargers are up there. But I think with Ridley now, and if he's able to be at the form that we expect him to be, yeah, they're definitely up there as well. So, again, the hype is only going to continue to grow with each passing preseason. I think we'll probably see one more full game from T. Not a full game, but see him play this game too. And then I think game 3, which is the last one, probably won't even see the starting lineup. It'll just be working out a few kinks. So hopefully, that's where Miller will get a few more reps to see if he can get some starting time this year. But should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. And if they do sign Clowney, that'd be a right prediction from us.